A new report from the Inspector General shows the city failed to collect $44 million in bills. Why? One expert says that money is gone forever. Fox 45 News making your voice heard at a Your Voice, Your Future town hall tonight. The top issues to be covered. And the House GOP's new speaker nominee, yep, he drops out just hours after securing a nomination. What the next steps could be.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala. Thanks so much for staying with us. Tonight, Fox 45 News is following multiple breaking news stories. First, Jason Billingsley, the man accused of killing Baltimore City Tech CEO Pavel Lapierre, has been indicted by a grand jury. He was scheduled for 2 separate preliminary hearings this week. He's accused of crimes involving that murder and an arson and rape that occurred a week before Lapierre was killed. Again, a grand jury has indicted Jason Billingsley 4 weeks after the murder of Pavel Lapierre. We are also following breaking news out of Baltimore County, where police say a teen has been shot at a Woodlawn Elementary School playground. The shooting happened near Edmondson Heights Elementary School. No students were hurt. Police say the teen was taken to a nearby hospital and is currently listed in stable condition. This, of course, an ongoing investigation. Fox 45 News will continue to follow this story, bring you any updates both on air and online. A new Inspector General report finds the city failed to collect more than $44 million in bills over a 12-year period. According to that report, money the city missed out on are funds it will never be able to get back. Fox 45's Maxine Stryker has the story.
The failed collection was uncovered during an investigation into a company that complained that they had never been billed for more than 150 right-of-way permits in the city, and it turns out they weren't alone. It's yet another glaring example of dysfunction in Baltimore City.
We have to make sure that doesn't happen again.
An Inspector General report out today finding the city failed to collect nearly $45 million of debt from 2005 through 2017 from various citywide invoices. Money they'll never be able to collect due to a 3-year statute of limitations. The revelation was uncovered after the OIG received a complaint in February from an independent company alleging the city failed to invoice them for 152 right-of-way permits between 2019 and 2023, a cost of more than $245,000. The Department of Transportation's Permit Division issues the permits, which are required for curb modifications and closures. DOT sends those invoices to the Department of Finance. The payroll division blamed the lack of invoices on the city transitioning to Workday, a new invoice software, and short staffing.
City monies aren't being invoiced or collected on a timely basis. And, with the city, every dollar counts.
Inspector General Isabel Mercedes Cummings says they also investigated a company with a balance of nearly $4 million for permit fees and more than $500,000 in missed utility bills. Finding the company required invoices to be submitted by email, but payroll was sending them to a physical address.
In this particular instance, a lot of it came down to very poor communications. Well, when poor communications end up city losing money, we have to do better.
David Williams with the Taxpayers Protection Alliance says it's unacceptable for the city to leave millions of dollars uncollected, money they're rightfully owed.
This money is gone. This money will never be collected, and the city is now out tens of millions of dollars that they should have collected. This is a repeated problem in Baltimore City, and this is happening because there are people that aren't doing their jobs.
The director of finance responded saying they've already taken steps to enhance the billing process and make sure there are no gaps in the future. And the Department of Transportation says they're taking immediate action to improve workflow. Cummings' office is urging that the collection process is more carefully monitored so that this doesn't happen again in the future. In Baltimore, Maxine Stryker, Fox 45 News.
Well, tonight, Fox 45 News is hosting a Your Voice, Your Future town hall. Mayoral candidate Sheila Dixon will join local law enforcement experts, community leaders to talk about public safety. The big topic tonight is expected to be violent crime. Just today, Councilman Eric Costello sent a letter to Deputy Mayor for Public Safety Anthony Barksdale. In the letter, he describes another assault that took place in the Otterbein neighborhood. He says this incident follows nearly 50 other similar crimes in the city over the weekend. Another big issue tonight, juvenile crime, as we continue to see young people in Baltimore either fall victim to crime or be caught up in crime.
We have to hold young people accountable when they do violent actions. This isn't something that any of us ever want to do, but unfortunately something we have to do. Hopefully the message is loud and clear. Young people, if you're going to grab an illegal handgun and use that illegal handgun, you can and you will go to prison.
Well, tonight you'll hear from former Mayor Sheila Dixon, along with the president of Maryland's FOP, Clyde Boatwright, and former chief judge of Baltimore City Circuit Court, Wanda Hurd. The town hall starts at 7 at the Christian Bilingual Church of Baltimore. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost is hosting the event, and you can watch it live at foxbaltimore.com. We'll have a recap on the news at 10. Well, just last night, another shooting in northeast Baltimore. Police say the 36-year-old victim brought himself to a hospital just before 11:45. Investigators are still not exactly sure where it happened. Anybody with information should contact Baltimore police. And this year, 222 people have been killed in the city. 534 have survived being shot. Those numbers are down from last year, but the city is facing a spike in youth crime and a massive rise in car thefts. Tonight, Baltimore police say a traffic stop led to the arrest of a man wanted for murder. Fox 45's Alexa Ashwell has the newly obtained court documents and a law enforcement expert's take on this arrest.
Right now, murder suspect Kenneth McKay is in custody thanks to an officer simply running a car's tags. A traffic stop leads to the arrest of a man wanted for September murder here in Baltimore. According to police, 37-year-old Kenneth McKay was taken into custody after an officer stopped a vehicle he was in here on Edmondson Avenue in West Baltimore. The purpose of the stop, police say, was due to the tags not matching the vehicle. A traffic violation that, in fact, led to the apprehension of a wanted murder suspect.
Look for people who are involved in criminal activity to interrupt what they're doing, in some cases to make arrests, even if they're not for serious offenses.
Law enforcement expert Jason Johnson says this arrest is an example of police feeling empowered to enforce all laws in the books, now that the city is seemingly moving away from former City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby's laxed prosecution policies. Mosby had announced the change around the start of the pandemic, detailing her office would no longer prosecute certain lower-level crimes, including minor traffic offenses, drug possession charges, prostitution, trespassing, and open container violations. Johnson argued it led officers to be more hands-off.
It contributes an atmosphere of lawlessness, which devolves into violence.
It's something current Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates, after being sworn in earlier this year,
Use the laws and the tools in your toolbox to do the job.
said would not happen under his watch.
Any and all laws that are on the books, you always had a right to enforce them, but as the state's attorney, I will ask you to please go ahead and enforce them.
The details of this case, he says, underscoring why taking violent offenders off the streets by any legal means necessary is so important. According to newly obtained charging documents, back on September 7th, McKay is one of two suspects who murdered 38-year-old Daniel Taylor. Here, detailing a man opened fire on the victim as he stood outside of a home on Pressbury Street, and then McKay stabbed him several times before both fled the scene. A violent and unsolved murder that has finally resulted in an arrest due to a stop for improper tags. Records also show McKay has quite the criminal history, with arrests dating back to 2006. He's facing more than a dozen charges in this case and is now due in court November 8th. Alexa Ashwell, Fox 45 News.
Fox 45 News is following breaking news out of Washington, D.C., where House Majority Whip Tom Emmer has dropped out of the Republican race for Speaker hours after he was nominated. It makes Emmer the third GOP nominee for Speaker whose candidacy has failed in recent weeks. The House leadership crisis has now entered its third week with no clear way to end the impasse, as the Republican Party remains deeply divided. Emmer had prevailed over 8 GOP candidates to secure the nomination after several rounds of voting today, but 26 GOP lawmakers still oppose his nomination. Emmer could only afford to lose 4 Republican votes. One Republican lawmaker told reporters that he expects there will be another speaker's race, but that the GOP conference is taking a break before deciding what next to do.
The number of migrants at the southern border breaking new records. I'm Christine Frizzau in Washington, where we now know many wanted terrorists were among them.
And after a sun-filled and mild afternoon, temperatures falling back down to crisp levels overnight. I'm going to let you know when we could be threatening 80 and when the next weather maker could bring rain, and if that impacts your Halloween plans. It's in my Weather Authority forecast.
With the number of encounters at the southern border for September now released, we now have the totals for fiscal year 2023, which ended on September 30th. Both the month and the year broke new records for the largest number of migrant encounters at the southern border. National correspondent Christine Frizzau joins us live on Capitol Hill with one other disturbing takeaway from these latest numbers. Christine?
That's right, Mary. In addition to single adults, unaccompanied minors, and families making that dangerous journey, often paying human traffickers thousands of dollars to get to the United States, we're also learning that many people on the terrorist watch list are also coming.
New numbers paint a picture of a desperate situation growing dire. In September, more than 269,000 migrants encountered at the southern border, the most in a single month ever, in a year that saw nearly 2.5 million, also a record. These photos, captured by those on the front lines, illustrate the challenges faced by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, all while trying to adhere to its main mission, On CBP's website, our top priority is to keep terrorists and their weapons from entering the United States.
The last 34 months, we've had 1.6 million known gotaways. How many known terrorists or how many special interest aliens have entered the United States? To me, it's not a matter of if the threat gets here. I believe the threat's already here.
Indeed, those encountered at the southern border on the terror watch list skyrocketed to 172, up from 98 last year, 16 the year before, and just 3 in 2020.
The message from the Biden administration is there are no consequences to coming to the United States illegally. And unfortunately, because of the volume of migrants coming across the border, it's overwhelming the Border Patrol.
As part of a $105 billion aid package, the Biden administration has requested more than $13 billion for enhanced border security,
including state-of-the-art border surveillance technology and modernized ports of entry. We need Congress to give us the funds to implement these proven tools.
And you know, the number of migrants actually did decrease for a little while after Title 42, that pandemic era policy, expired. But now we have seen those numbers have come roaring back, with poll after poll showing this will be a top issue in the 2024 election.
Christine, with that said, we're already seeing a change in policy by the Biden administration as we get closer to the election, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. You know, it was interesting. Just a few hours ago, Mary, we saw CBP tweet out sort of bragging that they are actually deporting many, many Venezuelans, sending them back to their country. They've also established a new relationship with Mexico so they can help with deportations, and they've required migrants from certain countries to first register in what's called a safe third country. That seemed to have an impact at first, but as we are seeing, tens of thousands of migrants, sometimes every day, are coming once again.
All right, Christine Frizzell, live on Capitol Hill on this issue for us. Thank you.
All right, Fox Triple Cast this evening, showing lots of sunshine, gorgeous end to a beautiful day, although crisp this morning. Mile 1 Task Cam, Toyota Asian Harbor Skycam, real nice. And on the HD radar, our latest weather maker is, well, you don't see much. It's fair weather high pressure, and that's going to stay with us for the next several days, and that's going to give us a nice warm up. Already making a nice fall over here at the Bay Bridge at 65. So folks, it looks like driving their boats on their trailers across the bridge here. And just really a gorgeous end to the day. Beautiful sunset, winds out of the southeast at 7 miles an hour, humidity at 56%. And temperatures during the afternoons going up from here. Temperatures dropping down into the mid to upper 30s, low 40s this morning. First frost for a lot of neighborhoods, so hopefully you brought those plants inside. Should not happen again this morning coming up. Temperatures running anywhere between about 3 to 5 and in some localized areas about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago. We're at 65 now here in Baltimore, 66 Columbia, 66 at Westminster. And if you like warmer weather, this is just the beginning. Notice a rain out to our west. That kind of divides the country into two spots where we've got winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories over portions of the, well, not really upper Midwest, but really the northern Rocky Mountains. That will stay there. And what's going to be coming our way ahead of all that, and that's going to be kind of the pattern the next almost week, is sunshine and warmer weather. The storm track stays to our north, and that keeps, yes, the temperatures above average all the way through Thursday. And again, could even be threatening records working into the end of the week. Future scan overnight into early tomorrow morning, falling through the 50s into the 40s by 6 a.m. So you'll need a jacket there, but not the scraper. Temperatures rise back by noontime to right around 70 here in Baltimore, 70 or so at Cockeysville, and well into the 70s to near 80 tomorrow afternoon. Really nice. 43 clear skies, chilly for tonight. Tomorrow, 75 dry skies and pleasantly mild. Your exclusive 10-day forecast taking you all the way through Halloween, and some big weather changes in my exclusive 10-day in a couple of minutes.
Jonathan, thank you. Amid the ongoing war in Israel, the rise in anti-Semitism has gained national attention. How lawmakers in one state are working to curb the growing threats. In tonight's Assignment America, the rise in anti-Semitism has caught the attention of local and federal lawmakers across the nation. But trying to stop the root causes of ignorance, prejudice, and discrimination starts with promoting tolerance and understanding. Jim Grimes from our Sinclair sister station in West Palm Beach has more on the latest initiatives underway there.
In covering this current rise in anti-Semitism, we've learned that stopping hate is a job that can only be done by everyone working together. Law enforcement, government leaders, and community groups all have a part to play in this fight.
In May of this year, President Biden addressed Americans with this announcement.
Today, I'm releasing the first ever national strategy to counter anti-Semitism.
That strategy lays out dozens of commitments to help protect Jewish communities. It includes initiatives aimed at improving public awareness, training, and encouraging people to report hate crimes. The administration also wants states to fight back against anti-Semitism.
So I think one of the most critical things that we can do is ask our elected leaders to condemn this sort of activity.
The ADL believes in changing government policies and passing tougher legislation. Florida Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz is leading the way in Congress.
Hate in our community will not be tolerated, that we are united against the extremists and the white supremacists, that we stand together in this community, and we will do whatever we can to push back.
Some want to penalize public colleges by withholding federal funds if administrators turned a blind eye to anti-Semitic, anti-Israeli events on campus. Even the money given to the United Nations, which some see as anti-Israeli, could be withdrawn.
You know, over the past 5 years, anti-Semitism's been on the rise.
Meantime, Florida lawmakers had already been pushing, creating ways to curb growing threats. Representative Mike Caruso saw it happening in his district of West Palm Beach.
We've seen stories in the news from hateful banners being hung from overpasses on highways such as I-95 and the Turnpike, all with anti-Semitic messages. We've seen hateful flyers being placed on cars in West Palm Beach. We've seen hateful flyers being distributed in Jewish communities in Boca Raton with hateful anti-Semitic messages. And we've seen the projection of Nazi swastikas on the CSS building in Jacksonville.
Florida, along with local governments, passed laws enhancing penalties for anti-Semitic crimes, including the distribution of hate-filled flyers or harassing people for their religion or ethnicity.
This filthy Jew, don't touch his car.
Folks, I'm not going to dance around this. These people are evil. As far as I'm concerned, they're just another brand of domestic terrorist. If you come to Palm Beach County and you do this, I will put your butt in jail.
That same tough message is also behind this impactful public service announcement from the Kraft Foundation, in which a father confronts his son about the Boys Anonymous online hate speech.
I saw what you've been posting. Hitler was right. I didn't teach you that. You hide behind your screen, spewing all this hatred and ugliness. You got something you want to say? Get out of the truck and say it to their faces.
New data just released by the FBI shows religious hate crimes target Jews in America more than any other religious group combined. In West Palm Beach, Jim Grimes reporting.
All right, the exclusive 10-day forecast, 75 for our Wednesday. How about near 80 degrees Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Could threaten records there, mid-80s on Saturday. Maybe a stray shower, but a primarily dry weekend, I think. 77 Sunday, better chance of a spot shower Monday. Halloween on Tuesday, boy, much colder, 60, and it stays actually unseasonably cool by the middle and end of next week.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, finally tonight, it may not feel like it today, but as the weather starts to cool, the Maryland Zoo says its bears are getting ready for hibernation. How good does that sound? Take a look at this. The zoo sharing videos of their two very sleepy, grizzly bears, Nova and Nita. I mean, he's doing head bobs right there. The zoo says the sisters are starting to slow down, pack on weight as they get ready for their winter hibernation. I think so many of us want the same thing when it gets cold out. We'll get through this weekend in this nice weather. We'll see what happens. Well, that's all for Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feuds next. We'll see you back here for the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.